home stretch here in USL Championship. Just 11 weeks remaining in the 2024 campaign. San Antonio FC welcoming in North Carolina FC. First time ever between these two clubs. Lucho Solignac, since he's returned, has been a nice spark. Last Saturday night in Pittsburgh, playing in his 100th career match. Mikey Maldonado for North Carolina, the San Antonio native, playing at Toyota Field for the first time in his career. And Jorge Hernandez continues to lead all of USL Championship with his elite playmaking skills, 8 assists atop all of USL. As we say hello from inside the broadcast booth on this Saturday night with Katie Goodman, I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us here this evening. Katie, let's begin with San Antonio FC. They begin week 24, 6 points below the playoff line. They've got the second toughest schedule among all clubs in the Western Conference as they try to get back into playoff form.
Right, playoffs still in earshot, still in eye range here, but a really tough schedule getting into that, an uphill battle, so to speak. They've got to take care of business here tonight if they're going to even stand a chance at getting there into the playoffs.
Only Memphis 901 with a harder schedule than San Antonio down the stretch. As for the easiest remaining schedule, well, you see, those are 3 clubs that are already sitting in playoff position. Tough task for San Antonio to try to catch them.
Right, sitting pretty here. If it continues as such, it's going to be a numbers game for them to make it across that red line. Right now, these teams here on the screen are just sealing the deal, doing it the right way, almost punching their ticket here.
Take a look at the table here as we begin week 24. As we said, SAFC 6 points below the playoff line, trying to hunt down both Monterey Bay FC and FC Tulsa. They've got a huge match with Monterey coming up here in a couple weeks' time. Now, the good news for San Antonio is in these cross-conference battles over the years, they've done pretty well, Katie. 16 wins going back to 2017.
Well, that gives San Antonio FC some hope here. It's a team they haven't quite played yet. It's a team from the East. They know it's a beatable team, and that's exactly who you want to be playing against right here as you make that run for playoffs.
And that's the biggest question is when you got 2 clubs who've never played against each other, what is the biggest key?
Well, if you're a coach, I'm sure you're watching game tape and you're seeing that athletic ability over there from NCFC. You have Olex Anderson. He can put goals away. He's fast. That means really being compact and tight there on defense, communicating well, because that's really going to be key here. You know you want a man mark, but with a team like this who's so athletic and so fast, it's more of a zonal approach, I think, here today for them.
All right, we'll see what happens. San Antonio FC and North Carolina FC for the first time ever. They get together here in week 24 of USL Championship. Should be a fun one tonight. Hey, it's Spurs night tonight, too. Stefan Castle, Harrison Ingram, Riley Minnick's all in attendance. We got more coming up on the other side here on Bally Sports.
At Toyota's National Sales Event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, 4...
Right now, qualified buyers get 3.99% APR financing for 72 months or $3,000 customer cash on a new 2024 Tundra iForce Max.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
When you shop or donate at Goodwill, you help create good jobs in our community. Visit goodwillsa.org/good job. Good job, everyone.
Who can tell me what they want to be when they grow up? Rico?
Are you seriously gonna have nachos for all?
Dear Texas, we've got something super sweet.
FC Soccer on Bally Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Go to buyatoyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. And by Rico's. Hey, San Antonio, keep it cheesy out there. A vote for Rico's means nachos for all. Nice evening here on this third Saturday in August, one of the hotter times of the year here in South Texas as SAFC and NCFC get together. We take a look at the starting 11s for both sides. North Carolina in the 3-4-3 formation. Olex Anderson Jr. up top. 6 goals coming off a brace. He is tied for the all-time club leading goals with 30. Coming into tonight's match, Jake McGuire mans the net. The former Miami FC keeper has gone 7-5-6 in his 18 decisions this year for head coach John Bradford. For San Antonio FC, they'll counter with their own 3-4-3 formation here tonight. No Kevin Lambert will miss his second consecutive match with injury, and that's a tough blow in the midfield for San Antonio. So they'll drop Jorge Hernandez back. They'll push Mashop Chol up top. And also no Mitchell Tainer tonight as well either, Katie, as he suffered an injury in training yesterday, and so he is out tonight. Trovabani will take his spot.
good opportunity to show up and show out here if you're Trovo Boni, but of course that's a big missed situation there for San Antonio FC. Again, just a team riddled with injury, and for your key players at that.
So San Antonio FC, as they entertain North Carolina FC for the first time ever. 5 wins against 11 defeats, 6 draws, 4-3-4 in their 11 matches here at home, coming off a 0-0 draw last Saturday in Pittsburgh. Was their first road point in 8 matches. North Carolina FC, 7 wins, 7 defeats, 8 draws, 9th in the Eastern Conference, 29 points, just 2 wins, however, in 10 matches away from Wake Med Park. As we are underway along with Katie Goodman and our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss. Thanks for joining us here this evening on Bally Sports. Our opening kick tonight presented by Pizza Hut. Temperature kickoff tonight, 96 degrees. Very humid evening. Dew points in the mid-60s. A little bit of a breeze coming out of the southeast. Not going to feel good for the players. Probably the hottest it's been at Toyota Field all season.
Must be. I mean, we've had a couple of days in a row of triple-digit temperatures, and for it to be 8 o'clock here and still 96 degrees, that's really something else. I know that humidity doesn't help either.
San Antonio FC wearing their red kits tonight, trimmed with black and white. The white kits with the blue trim there for North Carolina FC. Back-to-back wins for them as they come to San Antonio tonight. Here's the aforementioned Olex Anderson Jr. goes down inside the box. Our center referee will let him play on here, and San Antonio looks to play out. They'll feel a lot of pressure tonight from this North Carolina FC squad. Plays a very similar style. They love to press, both with and without the ball, much like San Antonio FC does.
Yeah, really interesting here. San Antonio about to get a taste of their own medicine in this one, and we saw just right there the speed that Olex Anderson Jr. has in him. I mean, it didn't waste any time at all, almost getting to the 5.
And a foul whistled in the midfield here. Center referee tonight, Adam Kilpatrick, working alongside Cameron Seiler and Nicholas Balser, the assistants. The 4th official is Melvin Rivas, and here's the foul stepping forward by Carter Manley. Tonight, he plays in his 100th USL Championship match, so congratulations to Carter Manley tonight for the accolade.
Another staple piece there for San Antonio FC, just that tried and true outside back guy there for San Antonio. Had battled injury earlier in the season, but good to see him back out there in the field in that bright red jersey.
We mentioned Mikey Maldonado. He's got the ball wearing number 15, San Antonio native. There are a couple of former SAFC players that are a part of this North Carolina FC squad. Ja'Cory Hayes, midfielder last year, he's on the bench tonight for NCFC. And Lamar Batista had been starting, 16 appearances for Batista, 15 starts, but he is out tonight with injury. Also, go back to early SAFC days, Pekka, who ran the midfield so beautifully for 3 seasons here in San Antonio. He's now part of the assistant staff here in North Carolina FC under John Bradford.
Really is the beauty of sports, you know. It doesn't mean you have to end things as a player. You can always go on and move on, take those years and decades of expertise and share it with other people.
We saw John Bradford in his 4th year, 4th overall. It's his 6th year with North Carolina FC. His 4th as head coach. Took North Carolina FC to the League One Championship last year, beating in-state rival Charlotte. And then they make the promotion back to USL Championship, and it's been a pretty good run here in their return. A couple of years of re-strategizing and getting players that they want. A lot of them have graduated from the club that was a winner in USL League One, including the aforementioned Olex Anderson, who had 17 goals last season as part of the North Carolina FC Championship squad.
It's always interesting to see how those teams kind of transition into a higher level of soccer here in the USL Championship. 17 goals, but Olex Anderson still putting away 6.
That's Mashop Joel over the top with a beautiful dime in stride. Mashop Joel trying to pull the trigger, and a great recovery by Bryce Washington, the former Atlanta United homegrown product.
Amazing opportunity out in transition there. I think you're going to see a lot more of that here from San Antonio, knowing that North Carolina is a team, they want to get up, they want to get into that high press. And here's the thing, when you've got 2 teams who run similar systems, they also know the flaws of each of those systems. So San Antonio changing things up a little bit, looking like a 3-4-3 here. Of course, 5 in the back when they're on defense. But if anyone can execute getting out in transition, it's San Antonio.
You're going to watch out on that left flank with Louis Perez, the Frenchman. He works so well up those touch lines, flag-to-flag guy. along with Ezra Armstrong as well, too. That's really a big key. And they overlap on the left side, North Carolina FC. That's where they've had the success in finding guys like Olex Anderson and Evan Conway up top as their two strikers.
Conway, 8 goals, 2 assists, and it's tough when you've got 2 strikers up top who can put away multiple goals in a season. But really, there's a couple of guys all in the starting lineup with 1 or 2 goals, assists, and so it's just a full-time threat here.
Their 10th in the championship is North Carolina in goals for with 31. And tied for 6th in goals conceded, just 25, so a +6 goal differential, which is really good considering that they're below the playoff line here entering week 24. On the flip side, San Antonio FC has a -8 goal differential here entering week 24, and that is 10th in the Western Conference amongst 12 teams.
I think sometimes when you have a ton of goal scoring ability all over the field, it's easy to get a little complacent and sometimes let a few in.
Hawkinson. C opens up a little bit for him, gives it a go, and Jake McGuire goes to ground to make his first save of the evening. McGuire, the Pomona, California native, was a former second-round pick by Houston Dynamo back in 2017, and this is his second stint with North Carolina FC. As tonight he appears in his 40th career match with North Carolina, 13 wins, 17 defeats, 9 draws, and 14 clean sheets all time for the 8th-year pro, Jake McGuire. Mikey Maldonado in the midfield. And he'll work along with Colin Martin, formerly of San Diego Loyal. As Luis Perez back for the ball, working upfield with Ezra Armstrong on the left flank. San Antonio FC and Bura do well to win possession of the ball. Mashop Cho returning it back here to Trovabani, who makes just his 9th appearance of the season and 6th start for San Antonio FC. Again, they try the vertical run here with Lucho Solignac. McGuire reads it well and dispossesses off here to Ezra Armstrong on the left side.
It's a good composed clearance there. I think a lot of times keepers, when they see that really fast press, they're just trying to get it out.
I'll try the right flank now here with Schaff Brewer and Colin Martin before again switching back to their bread and butter on the left side. And again, Ezra Armstrong working with Luis Perez and Olex Anderson. You're going to see a lot of this funneling tonight on the left flank here as Anderson tries to direct one in, and it'll be the first corner of the evening awarded to North Carolina. Olex Anderson Jr., 28 years of age, 15 appearances in Major League Soccer. He's got 40 goals in his 140 career matches.
And as you can see there, even from receiving the ball, he just turns that speed on really quick. That's so hard to track as a defender, to go from 0 to 60 like you just saw there.
Ty Shiplani with his 29th and 30th career goals with North Carolina last Saturday. Cisniega's upended inside the box, and we get a whistle. And we have an injured San Antonio FC defender there right at the top of the 6-yard box.
The service is in. He's there to punch it out, and it looks like Carter Manley just gets caught up underneath it all.
So Manley is down, and that's bad news. Manley has been as injury prone as they come for San Antonio FC, and a lot of times it's on plays like this that are just freak in nature and completely out of his control. But in Carter Manley's case, in his 100th career USL Championship appearances, just gets unfortunately caught in the undertow of Pablo Cisniega trying to punch that delivery out.
San Antonio, a lot of times this season, just trying to get by with the crew that they have. I mean, injury after injury, and you said it, Dan, freak accidents at times. And what can you do if you don't have a full roster, right? That's, I think, the name of the struggle here for San Antonio. But when you see guys like that who are so key for San Antonio and they go up for it, the keeper did the right thing. At the end of the day, you got to clear that ball. It doesn't matter who's in the way of it. But just a really unfortunate scuffle there for Carter.
So once again, Jesse Lawrence, the trainer, comes out to take a look here.
And what it looks like is there's a knee to the back of the head.
So obviously your concern for concussion or any head injury certainly is first and foremost, and that's what they're obviously going to take a look at here. We mentioned San Antonio FC tonight. No Kevin Lambert, no Mitchell Tainer. Also, Jake Lacavo suffered an injury last Saturday in Pittsburgh. He left the game in the middle of the match, replaced by Shannon Gomez. He is not in the 18 tonight as well, so some vital pieces missing for San Antonio FC because of injuries. Let's see if Carter Manley can continue here as he gets back to his feet.
There's been times where we've seen Burra also go and play in that outside back position. Does a really good job there. Wouldn't be surprised if Carter's unable to go, if they don't pull Burra back and put someone else in the center of the park to help out Jorge Hernandez. But there's so much that could happen there in those moments. And, of course, you want to take the utmost precaution, especially knowing you've got player safety and then you've got still quite a few games ahead. Yeah,
Shannon Gomez would be the natural sub here if one is needed here, because he can slide back and play that right side in the three-back formation if needed. Not necessarily what he does naturally, but if they need him to, you can make a switch here. We'll take one more look at Carter Manley. Looks like he's going to try to give it a go here, at least for the time being.
It looks like his head got caught underneath, might have pulled his head forward too. Of course, we don't want to speculate. Would hate for there to be any type of whiplash, anything like that.
So he'll have to come off here momentarily just to make sure that he's okay and good enough to continue. He's holding the back of his neck. Shannon Gomez continues to get loose, but he's not coming over, so it appears that Carter Manley will indeed continue here as soon as he gets let back on here by the official.
And in the meantime, Burra drops back a bit, but yeah, he's going to come back on and have a go at it. It's always tough to do when you have a neck injury, because as a player, you kind of got to have your head on a swivel there. If you get any kind of shooting pain in those moments, it can really be a hindrance.
San Antonio FC, boy, they've had just a real tough run of form. They're winless in 8 out of their last 9 matches coming into play here tonight. And another injury this time will be the defender Justin Malou, who was down here for North Carolina FC. Is like he took a shot in the back, perhaps.
Again, another unfortunate accident. Just Juan Agudelo bumping into him there. Most likely going to be a lot of added extra time here at the end of this half.
Justin Malou just a couple weeks ago scored his first career goal in USL Championship in their big victory over Orange County. It was a big win on the road for North Carolina FC, just their second win on the road this season. And they go out to Southern California, pick up 3 key points. And that puts them in a pretty good position here to try to get back above the playoff line. Come down to these final 11 weeks here of the regular season. Kendall Burks has started. He's played every single minute this year for San Antonio FC. Cisniega. San Antonio FC will get back onside here. Flag stays down. Shaft Brewer will let it ride out. Now the flag is up. And so the reset for North Carolina FC off the offside flag. Colin Martin. Martin, longtime USL Championship midfielder, 145 career matches for Martin, the native of Bethesda, Maryland. Paco Craig on the outside. I remember Paco Craig last year when Miami came to town. He got a red card in the opening minutes of the match. Miami played a man down for 80 minutes that night, yet still defeated San Antonio FC 1-0.
There's no doubt they've struggled to just put goals away here, and I think a big part of it was not having Lucho in the lineup at that time, but also other teams going down a player definitely changes just the nature of the game. It's not going to be as spread out once you're getting in to their side of the field. They stay compact, and it's just kind of hard to break through in those kinds of situations.
A little bit more deliberate now for North Carolina here is Craig. He's on that outside wing here with Ezra Armstrong. Armstrong, Perez trying to return it back to Ezra Armstrong. Well read by San Antonio FC, and they just boot it down the field. Very vintage San Antonio FC, that vertical ball there, just trying to find a runner. And they've, on that high North Carolina press, tried to catch him a couple of times. Mashok Chol, Luis Solignac over the top. Shaft Brewer will keep this one moving.
You know, it's not always an ideal style of play, but knowing what you have and what the situation is that you're walking into, sometimes that's just the approach that you have to take. Don't want to mess around with it too much there on the back line. Have some turnover there due to injuries, and you've got a lot of speed there in the attack, so it makes sense to try to not hold on to it too much. Not exactly a possession type situation. Kind of more characteristic of the old San Antonio, trying to move in and out, up and over.
And North Carolina is not a great possession team. They're 47% for the season. San Antonio FC, at one point, they were 54% overall possession. That's dropped down to 51% here over the last couple of weeks. And again, the biggest issue for San Antonio FC here, really over the last couple of months, has just been their inability to score. 23 goals in 22 matches. That's just not going to get the job done. It's a lot of pressure on your back line, your keeper, to make the saves.
Right. A lot of time spent defending and just trying to hang in the game altogether. Don't want to be on your back heels, that's for sure, but sometimes there is no other way.
They have just 4 clean sheets on the season. Pablo Cisniega collecting his 3rd last Saturday in Pittsburgh, where they held the Riverhounds to just 1 shot on target. In fact, San Antonio, they did not have a shot on target themselves that entire match.
You know, I did get a chance to talk to Alan Marcina, and he mentioned he was actually really pleased with the mentality that the guys had going into the game, how well every single player on that field defended, and then the fact that they could hold a team like Pittsburgh to 0-0 gave him a little bit of hope here moving into these next few games, especially North Carolina here. Definitely feels like it's not impossible to put this team away, but if he's going to do that, it's got to keep people wide.
Agudello and hauled down. And we're going to get an early caution here shown to Paco Craig. So we mentioned Craig last season with Miami FC. He got an early red. Look at an early yellow here in the 17th minute. And for Craig, that's his 6th caution of the season.
Yep, anytime you're holding hands and give a little shove in the back, you're going to get called for it. San Antonio, pretty successful on set pieces here, and I wouldn't say it's exactly a dangerous spot, but probably one of the better opportunities they've had so far.
Well, anytime Jorge Hernandez gets a chance to let one go off his left foot on a set piece, it's a dangerous spot. I don't care really where he's taking it from. This guy's left foot is about as good as anyone in USL Championship.
And there's something about the Jorge Hernandez and Juan Agudello connection here on these set pieces. Let's see if he can find him or where this one lands. Usually
Mitchell Tanner would be out of your screen off to the far left. Kendall Burks is taking that spot now in the far corner. And this delivery is a one-hand grab. Well done by Jake McGuire. Brings it down. Trying to search out that back post there was Hernandez.
McGuire here for the one-hand grab. Must have some really sticky gloves here tonight, able to keep that one there. Otherwise, it would have been Trovaboni with the opportunity.
Nicely done there by the 29-year-old keeper. North Carolina FC, they are tied for 5th in the championship. 8 total clean sheets here in 2024. That's a giveaway, though, in the midfield. San Antonio FC looking to press forward and capitalize. Jorge Hernandez is a challenge, and play on, says the referee, as Hernandez goes down. Here's the counter for the visitors. Shaft Brewer up the right touchline. Brewer, Anderson, top of the box, can unleash. Brewer flicks it along. Colin Martin got twisted up here, and now Hernandez for a second time goes down, and this time he will earn himself a whistle.
Yeah, not totally sure how that last chip of the heels wasn't a call there. I mean, he came from behind, chipped his heels, didn't even go for the ball, really. Took a second time for them to call it. It's the kind of stuff that you don't want to get out of hand.
Hawkinson, Agudello, keeping it moving there with Lucho Solignac. Oh, nifty from Juan Agudello as he keeps possession here and then concedes.
A little bit of magic there for Agudello. Always gets people sitting up out of their chair.
Well done on the other end from Evan Conway. His delivery in the direction of Alex Anderson never found a home, and San Antonio FC's back on the ball here. As we get set to cross into the 21st minute here. Some early action on both ends. Just the one shot for San Antonio FC here in the early going. 0-0 in the first ever meeting between San Antonio FC and North Carolina FC. Hawkinson, Seliniak would have been in an offside position. Jake McGuire.
The good thing here for San Antonio is they're seeing those opportunities. They're just slightly off the mark at times. But you can see the wheels turning and you can see the objective. The thing is, you don't want it to get too predictable either.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch the keeper, Jake McGuire, almost play himself into the 11, coming well out of his area here. I mean, he's 10 yards out of the 18-yard box right there.
Probably exactly what San Antonio wants. If you notice, they were sitting pretty low there. Not really that high press mentality we're used to seeing, chasing and forcing, and that's because they don't want them going down the center of the park here. That's where North Carolina is really, really dangerous. Many goals have come from there.
Reminds me of the guy who's not playing tonight for North Carolina, Lamar Batista. Last year on opening night, caught the keeper in a very similar spot, well off his line, and a beautiful chip and an opening night brace for Lamar Batista and a San Antonio FC win in his debut.
I tell you, Lamar Batista and his goals, there's always something unique or different, whether it's a bicycle kick on the debut or chipping the keeper.
Wasn't going to have a better debut. Oh, nicely done. Alex Anderson gets free, and instead of taking the shot, gives it up. And San Antonio FC will gladly thank Alex Anderson for serving one up in the direction of Evan Conway instead of trying to put one on goal. He made a nifty little run there.
Yeah, he did. Again, so fast. Just in the blink of an eye, he's already there. And this is where San Antonio has got to be better about communicating. I mean, he made it all the way past the back line. Part of that is somebody must have been holding him on side there. It's been really bad for San Antonio.
McGuire searches out Ezra Armstrong. Armstrong spent the last couple of years with St. Louis City, 2 of MLS Next Pro. North Carolina really had their way in terms of what they want to do dictating here so far in the first half. It's a heavy touch there for Luis Perez, switching from his left to the right side here, and the ball will go back to San Antonio. Early numbers dictate North Carolina's dominance. 66% possession so far here in the first 22 minutes. This ball tracked down by Agudelo, but again he's offside. The flag is up. They've certainly done their homework here, Katie, on San Antonio FC. They know exactly how they're going to try to attack this back line of North Carolina.
Yeah, you got to hand it to their back line, because that's one of the harder things to do, is just stay in communication, especially when a team time and time again is trying to get in behind. I mean, that came from just really impeccable communication there. But also just looking at that build-up, there was an opportunity to maybe check into the center of the park, try to build through the middle, and then go out and get in, you know, kind of like the way San Antonio used to play. 1, 2, 3 passes through the middle, and then you're up into the other side of the field. But instead, I think it was really predictable trying to send that one over the back there. Can't keep doing the same thing. Kind of got to change it up here and there.
One dies in the midfield and taken back by North Carolina. And a little heavy pressure from Lucho Seliniak. It'll be whistled for the foul.
Seliniak, a guy who's had to sit out quite a bit, is playing out here like he's never been injured. And I think that's the exact kind of mentality you got to have when you're bouncing back here.
Just his 6th match of the season. He's got 2 goals. Scored in his return a couple of Saturdays ago against Tulsa.
You know, the second he made it back, you could see that heart, and it was contagious. A lot of the other guys began to pick up that mentality, and You saw it spread across the team, and sometimes what you need is a guy to remind you that, hey, you may not be able to play soccer forever, right? So do what you can with what you have and bring your all every single time.
That goal against Tulsa, that was his 10th career goal with San Antonio FC in just 19 matches. There's another corner here for North Carolina FC. They're second so far here in the first 25 minutes. That ball is dangerous here on the low service. Loose momentarily before off the bicycle. It rides out across the byline. It'll go back to Cisniega and SAFC. It was Bryce Washington who got forward there in a final position. And as good as North Carolina FC has been here so far in this first 25 minutes, final product has not been very good, and especially for a club that has found success scoring goals here over the last couple of weeks.
And I think part of that is San Antonio's done a pretty good job to handle the middle of the field there, and San Antonio catches them off guard in just enough moments to really keep them on their toes.
Off of Colin Martin to earn a throw.
So not exactly just sitting back and defending, they're definitely bringing it too, which kind of makes it hard to get your momentum in the attack.
And nearly a giveaway against that North Carolina press. San Antonio FC will maintain possession here. Now try to work it around and generate some meaningful possession. So far it's just been a lot of trying to go over the top. Hawkinson, he was calling for the ball on the left flank. Kendall Burks never found him. And then that goes off of Jorge Hernandez.
That was one of those moments where, you know, here with a bird's eye view, easy to see, but not exactly so easy when you're on the other side of the field and lots of jerseys in the way, but that would have been a pretty good switch.
22nd appearance this year for Luke Hawkinson. He's got 2 goals for San Antonio FC out of the midfield. Burks and Agudelo. Flag stays down this time. Agudelo, top of the box, sneaks it through. Solignac, heavy on that touch, not going to keep it in play.
But great spatial awareness there from Agudelo. Head was on a swivel. You could see he took that pause to hold himself onside. You can see there he's got that touch, and not a bad idea putting that into space for Lucho. And that's the great thing about Lucho is he's reading that, but it's that heavy touch. Just can't quite control it.
Meanwhile, Mashop Chol is right now down in front of the 6-yard box here in Jake McGuire's net here for San Antonio FC. And he'll get back to his feet. Mashop Chol making his 11th start this season. Mashop Chol, former teammates with Bryce Washington out of that Atlanta United Academy system. They were 2 of the first ever signees by Atlanta United out of their homegrown academy. So some history there with Washington and Mashop Chol.
Also, he went to Wake Forest. There's a couple of guys from North Carolina FC who have Wake Forest as well in their resume. Ja'Cory Hayes being one of those. Also a former SAFCer from last season. We've got Colin Martin as well.
You see that possession that we touched on earlier. Heavy in favor of North Carolina here so far. Nearly a half hour gone. Mikey Maldonado with the ball, the 26-year-old, born in San Antonio, played with North Texas FC. So did not come out of the San Antonio FC program. He's a little bit after his time. San Antonio FC really kind of took off with their success in their academy. Hawkinson. And back to Kendall Burks.
You got to hand it to San Antonio's back line. They're really doing a great job of just staying connected together, and even center middies getting in and connected as well. I think the spot you want to improve on is that distribution up top.
It was a good idea from Bonnie, but well read by Malou. And here's the counter for North Carolina. Armstrong. Alex Anderson. Off his right foot.
Some really quality stuff here from North Carolina, and it's always Alex Anderson who's able to break away and just find a spot. I mean, we've seen it from him time and time again. He's a really tricky guy to mark, and that's why half the time you can't really man mark him. You have to zonally mark him because he's so fast and tricky, but that also takes, again, impeccable communication.
San Antonio FC has really yet to space on the right side in this match tonight with a former North Carolina FC fullback in Nelson Flores Blanco, who, by the way, happy birthday, Nelson Flores Blanco, celebrates 25 against his former club here tonight.
Great way to spend a birthday, no doubt.
Flores Blanco appeared in 86 career matches with North Carolina FC before being acquired back in June by San Antonio. This is his 9th match with SAFC since joining the club. Alan Morcina has called him a wonderful addition in the last couple of months that he's been here.
Yeah, the second he got here, he never stepped off the field, really. Got that starting position, flew in, and just had to fit right in. And it's so tough being a player in just in this day and age with all the changes and transfers and movement. Just having to adapt into any situation with the new system, a new team, new personalities. And he's done a really good job of just fitting right in.
And I'm sure he gave Alan Morcina and the troops the scouting report on this NCFC club before tonight's match. With the one guy who's got some good intel on John Bradford's group here.
Also nice to have double the soccer friends in town, right, for your birthday.
Washington. Perez back for the ball here now, off to Paco Craig.
As you can see, San Antonio doing such a great job to stay really compact. There's a reason why you've only really seen an attack from North Carolina on the flanks.
And they find an opening. Here is Colin Martin. A beautiful ball. That's Perez up top. Perez, great save by Cisniega. Parries that one away. And the first test of the game on Pablo Cisniega is denied off the feet of Luis Perez.
Got to have a look at it. Just the perfect timing here. Beautiful touch and one heck of a shot. And it's Pablo Cisniega who gets a paw on it. Man, you talk about athletic performance, and that's one at its finest.
Luis Perez searching out his 3rd goal of the season, and that packed a lot of power behind that shot there. Cisniega does his job with his first save of the night. 3rd corner of the evening coming up here for North Carolina. This one to the back post, off the fingertips of Cisniega. It'll be tracked down by Olex Anderson and chopped at there by Hawkinson. We'll set up a corner here on the near side.
Speaking of Carolina's, Pablo Cisniega having played at Charlotte FC and then moving on to LAFC before making his way here, but you can just see that MLS caliber talent here from Pablo Cisniega and how it's really saved San Antonio multiple times this season.
A huge first save here that keeps this match scoreless. And Cisniega is able to find that one along the back post. So for the first time, San Antonio FC, their back end gets broken down a little bit. North Carolina FC finds just enough of a seam to get a shot on target off. Cisniega makes the save. Let's see how San Antonio now responds. Hawkinson. And for Mashop Chal, he won't track that one down.
I really love the idea there that they had. It wasn't just your simple ball over the top, booted from the back. There was some creativity involved in that, a nice diagonal, just a little bit of a miss hit on that one. But I think that's more of what we need to see here from San Antonio, is another attempt like that. Maybe even a driven ball. Doesn't always have to be over the top. Just find a seam.
Paco Craig. Bryce Washington and Justin Malo. A little bit past Mikey Maldonado. Agudelo wearing the armband tonight as the captain in the absence of Mitchell Tainer. It'll be whistled for the foul here. Agudelo leads San Antonio FC with 7 goals here in 20 matches and clips the ankles this time of Justin Malo.
So you can see he's able to keep that ball inside. It's just right on the white line, trying to protect the ball.
Ezra Armstrong. A little burst of speed there on that far touchline. And off of Armstrong, going to be a throw to San Antonio. Hawkinson. He's got some daylight here. Hernandez will switch the play. Flores Blanco, Carter Manley. As they volley back and forth.
Looked like a header drill out there, the ones you play around with in practice. Do come in handy, turns out.
And we'll switch back to Hawkinson here on the left flank.
North Carolina really forcing them to possess here. Kind of trying to force their hand, force a turnover higher up on the field. For San Antonio, it's about just staying composed in these moments. Doing the basics well, wait and be patient.
Get a little feel of the ball too, obviously. It's something they really haven't had much of in this first half.
Valid point.
Shaft Brewer back to Jake McGuire. His footsteps coming. Oh, that was cheeky from McGuire with Mashop Chol providing the pressure.
It's one of those that you kick yourself over later. But of course, most players going into that assume they're going to try to clear it, so.
Foul on Carter Manley on the far side as he takes Ezra Armstrong down. That's had the presence of having a veteran keeper like Jake McGuire back there, is that he's not going to make a mistake in those types of situations. And just the trust of having a guy like that from your head coach, allowing him to play so far off his line. And with great footwork like that, I mean, coach's dream.
Right. I mean, most keepers nowadays do have some good footwork, but there are some who definitely excel over others. It's typically those guys that you see camped out high, wanting to be that center back, stay involved, stay warm, spread the field a little bit.
Yeah, he wants to be as much a part of the play. He's not hanging back waiting for shots. He wants to be involved in the attack. For Shaft Brewer. Malo. Colin Martin. The combination with Brewer here. Patience from North Carolina here. And again, well done from San Antonio FC. Really just the one opportunity on the breakdown that North Carolina was able to find a seam.
I think going into this game, they probably knew it was going to be highly defensive for them on their end. And again, they've just done so well to stay connected as a unit despite who's in the lineup. As you know, multiple different lineups every single game this season.
As Perez now shifts over from the left. And miscommunication with Conway. But that's where Luis Perez can be so dangerous, because he can shift from the left to the right. So much creativity running on that left side, but you gotta be careful, because then he'll pull himself off to the right flank and he'll try to open up for Evan Conway over there.
As an outside back, you hate a winger who loves to get in and take kind of like that right degree angle, so to speak, gets that look at the goal, and especially when you've got another creative guy up top like Anderson who can run in behind or create all kinds of problems. It's really tough when you've just got three in the back. You're kind of really relying on your wingers to get back and help.
Conway coming back for the ball now in the midfield. It's deflected. Mashop Chol turned inside out of the midfield there by Martin. We'll learn the foul.
Really quality read there from Burra, quick reaction. Oof. It's that clip behind the calf that's going to bring Machopchol down.
Hey, shout out to the women of the USL and the Super League that gets underway here tonight, week number 1. With the brand new USL Super League getting underway. We're going to have a big match coming up here at Toyota Field in October. Celebrate their opening season, and we're going to chat a little bit more about that coming up at halftime, Katie.
Right, and you know, it's just such a great opportunity for women's soccer to have another tier of professional soccer in the mix. Right now, it's just semi-pro, and then there's a giant gap trying to get into the NWSL. So the Super League bridges that gap and really adds a good chunk of healthy competition there for these NWSL teams.
We get closer to halftime here at Toyota Field. Again, been a heavy possession half for North Carolina FC, but just the one shot on target from Luis Perez. Stopped by Cisniega. 0-0 here. San Antonio FC, one shot on target in this first half. Colin Martin. Burra just out-muscles Martin for the ball there and wins a foul. Burra in his 15th appearance with San Antonio. Native of Guinea-Bissau, has got 1 goal on the season.
Seems like San Antonio losing a bit of steam here. Not really loving the patience piece of this.
Well, Vabani is able to break through the crowd. He's going to bring it upfield himself. He's going to give it a go, and it's wide. Well, not a bad idea, though. You've done all the work. You might as well take your shot.
Hey, at this point, I'm absolutely loving that. That's the thing that the other team is definitely not expecting. He hasn't carried the ball at all at this point. Look right there, he gets a look. Oh, man, I almost wish he would have taken it first time. Of course, it just goes shy of the post, but it's the kind of trickery we like to see from San Antonio.
And you can see SAFC, I mean, they're playing to their strengths in the sense is that they're trying not to concede. In the past, particularly here at home, they have been the aggressor when it comes out to trying to get that opening goal, trying to set the tone. But they realize they have just not been a goal-scoring club this year, and so they got to do it on the back end, at least to start.
I mean, all things considered, I think they really are playing their cards right here. They've stayed compact. They've not made anything easy at all for North Carolina.
This is Cisniega's coming well off his line here to read this one. Agudelo. Working with Jorge Hernandez.
Good on Jorge to settle there. Agudelo loves those one-touch volleys. He's gotten out of pressure quite a few times with those.
Here's the press again for North Carolina. Conway. And Bonnie able to get rid of it. And a giveaway by Cisniega right to the feet of Colin Martin. Not what you expect from your keeper there.
Sometimes it's a bit of a trickle effect. When your first touch is off, then you're trying to make something happen with it. You send it back to the keep, and you know, I think there's a little bit of that energy in the mix of, oh no, get it out. We don't want to mess with it. They're getting numbers up, and then before you know it, it's a turnover. Good thing is they're now being forced to build out of the back here again.
A little window for Mikey Maldonado. And now Washington and Paco Craig here. They get forward a little bit. Nice challenge from Kendall Burks. Drops Olex Anderson to the ground. On the verge of another scoreless 45 minutes, which would be the third straight since the 2 goals conceded by SAFC a couple of Saturdays ago against FC Tulsa. Flag stays down. McGuire. Atkinson. Hernandez. Heavy on the touch. Settles back across. Flores Blanco will take the throw here for San Antonio.
Again, a couple of times where San Antonio's starting to get things cooking, and then it's just kind of a silly turnover. I think a part of that is this sense of urgency. The clock is running down. They definitely want to put a goal up, but they just have to stay patient and wait for the right opportunity.
And Olex Anderson took a shot to the back of the head, and the referee will stop the play. And Katie, most nights San Antonio, if they're going to play a defensive kind of soccer, I think you're okay with that. I think the problem is with, again, just 12 matches remaining in the season, you got to score goals to win. And you're 6 points out of a playoff spot right now here as we see 3 minutes of added time. I get it. You're trying to pick your spots where those opportunities may be. But I get it. You can't win if you let the ball go in your net, but you also can't win if you don't put balls in the opponent's net either.
Right. I think the game changer here in this situation, and why you're seeing San Antonio sit back so much, is the speed that they have all across the top line there for North Carolina. They know if they get too high, if they get too disconnected, they know if they give them any kind of a passing lane through the middle, that it's most likely going to result in a goal, right? And I do think by being patient and, kind of forcing turnovers there from North Carolina, it does help them to try to get up and over. Now, have we seen any real opportunities? No, not just yet. And in order to do that, yeah, you're right. They're going to have to get up the field. They're going to have to take some chances. The question is, when do you take those chances without really exposing your system?
Maldonado keeps possession back here to Washington. North Carolina FC, they'll gladly take points on the road, particularly in their position. San Antonio FC, they need more than just results. They need wins here. And we'll talk more about their upcoming schedule coming up a little bit later on, but we mentioned it at the top. It's the second toughest in the Western Conference. They got to go to Sacramento next Saturday night. They got to come home and play Charleston Battery, who's a title contender. Later in the fall, they'll welcome in Louisville City, who's another title contender out of the Eastern Conference as well, too. Tough clubs coming to SAFC and Toyota Field here later on. Olex Anderson punched away from him by Trovabani.
Right, it's starting to get into that time of the season where a lot of teams are just hoping some other teams lose to help them mathematically work their way closer to that red line. I think that's going to be part of what's going to happen for San Antonio, especially if they can't put goals up. And, I think if that's the situation you're in and you're a coach and you know that you're struggling to execute, then at least at the bare minimum, you cannot give up some goals.
Right now getting a little help tonight. Memphis winning at home over Tulsa 1-0. New Mexico at home winning 2-1 over Monterey Bay FC. That match coming up in a few weeks out in Seaside, California. That's going to be the big one for San Antonio FC. Going out to Monterey Bay, it's almost a must 3 points. That's the team they're trying to chase down in the final position above the playoff line.
Sometimes those are the trickiest teams when you go into it knowing that you have to win, do or die. I think that's when you tend to get lines broken through on defense as you get really goal hungry, trying to put it away and take the win.
As the first 45 minutes comes to a conclusion, 45 minutes down, 45 to go, 0-0 at Toyota Field, San Antonio FC and North Carolina FC. A little bit of a chess match here going on. We'll take a break. Our halftime coming up on the other side when we continue here on Bally Sports.
At Toyota's National Sales Event, we've got a long lineup of vehicles for summer fun, like Camry, RAV4, Highlander, BZ4X, Tundra, Corolla Hybrid, Tacoma, Sienna, Corolla Hatchback, Sequoia, Prius Prime, RAV4 Hybrid, Land Cruiser, GR Supra, Toyota Crown, Ford.
Right now, qualified buyers get 3.99% APR financing for 72 months on a rugged new 2024 Tundra. Offer ends September 3rd.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Hi, sports fans. I'm Jeff Davis. Going head-to-head with insurance companies is no easy game. It requires determination, gamesmanship, and grit. That's why you need Davis Law Firm on your side. With over 25 years' experience, our team of around 150 in 7 Texas cities has a winning track record of verdicts and settlements, many in the millions of dollars. And just like your favorite team, we play to win. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or commercial vehicle accident, call us at 444-4444. So if you want more, call the fours.
Who can tell me what they want to be when they grow up? Rico?
Are you seriously gonna have nachos for all?
Hey Nick, you going viral? Yeah. I don't really try, I'm just athletic. I ain't really high, I'm just level-headed. Tell me why the click looking magnetic. Tell me in the city when I'm back in it.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know.
When your family is growing, we're here for you throughout your pregnancy with just the right care and support for you, for your baby, as your family welcomes your newest little ray of sunshine.
Back in the half at Toyota Field here on a Saturday night in the middle of August. San Antonio FC, North Carolina FC, 0-0 after the first 45 minutes of play as we say hello once again inside the broadcast booth. Katie Goodman, I'm Dan Weiss. It's great to have you with us here this evening. And Katie, boy, I mean, it was, an expected chess match because these two clubs have no history. We really got a pretty good chess match there in that first 45 minutes.
Right. I think San Antonio's doing a good job of staying on the defensive, staying compact, forcing everything wide. It's working really like a charm. It's just how are they going to get up into the attack? And when you look at what North Carolina did here, the one look that they had down the middle was a really good one. And if it weren't for Pablo Cisniega, that definitely would have been a goal. But what I really like here that San Antonio FC did is they switched things up. It changes the game when you have someone dribbling at you throughout the field. You can see the wingers go wide. They try to make it a commotion and make things difficult. And it's Trovaboni who goes, and he gets a pretty good look at the goal. So maybe some changes you might see there at the half are carrying the ball a little bit more through the middle and less tiki-taka, less more over the top, and just taking 1v1s and taking advantage of those. And of course, San Antonio wanting to go over the top every time. This was an early opportunity here from Machob Scholl. Had a really good look at it. I think it's the case of just maybe trying to hit that first time versus second touch. But again, if San Antonio continues to stay patient, try to get in behind the lines, eventually a better look is going to land. But we know with San Antonio, in the past, they don't struggle with getting looks at the goal. They struggle putting it away. And so in this game, they just haven't had a ton of looks. So that's something that's definitely going to have to change moving into the second half if they're going to try to get a goal in this one. Otherwise, they'll be lucky to get maybe a single point from this.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the numbers here from the first half. Heavy possession half for North Carolina FC here. 65% and just one shot on target for either side. You saw the one for North Carolina, the great save by Cisniega, and then one for San Antonio was on an early run over the top and a pretty easy save for Jake McGuire. It's interesting to seeing 11 crosses for North Carolina, Katie, because that's San Antonio's bread and butter. They play the cross game, and tonight they're playing a lot more of the vertical pass game, trying to catch that high line off guard.
Absolutely spot on, and I think a big part of that is because, again, they've been so compact in the middle. They've got their outside backs doing a really great job of just forcing things wide, keeping things out, and there's definitely an onslaught of pressure here coming from North Carolina, and that's where you're getting those 11 crosses from.
All right, 0-0 at the half. San Antonio FC and North Carolina after the first 45 minutes. As we got more coming up on the other side when we continue here on Bally Sports.
Oh my goodness! Sal got it! Sohan finishes it. Oh, Mama Wemba Yama!
Is it somebody's birthday?
Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Deciding to go right up through the middle. A shot. Wow! Masango on Conley. Long range shot from Nordy. Stopped, and that one trickles in.
Mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Oh my goodness! Sal got it! Solhead finishes it! Oh, Bama with the yellow!
Who doesn't love a little bubble soccer when it's mid-90s out here on a Saturday night? 0-0 San Antonio, North Carolina FC here this evening on Bally Sports. And we say hello once again from inside the booth with Katie Goodman. I'm Dan Weiss. Great to have you with us here. And Katie, we touched at the top of the broadcast tonight. San Antonio FC 6 points below the playoff line. They got the second hardest schedule right now among all teams in the Western Conference here in the final 11 weeks of the regular season.
And again, it's what makes this game so important. They've got another 45 minutes to put one away and try to collect those 3 points, because if they don't do it now, it's going to be, I'm not going to say impossible, but pretty dang difficult to make it happen here in this next few games.
Only Memphis and Las Vegas sitting in playoff position amongst those 4 teams. And if you look at the easiest remaining schedule right now, 3 clubs that have the easiest remaining schedule all in a playoff position, which makes it even more difficult for San Antonio trying to be one of those teams to get into the mix.
Right, and you got to hand it to them. They did the job that they had to do early on. They put themselves in a great position, and now it's just coasting it on through, right? And you're probably going to see a lot of this second-string players coming in these later games. I know a lot of people are making runs for that playoff line, but you're going to see some different stuff from them, I think, in these next few games.
Here's a look at the rest of the action of the Western Conference at Week 24 of USL Championship. Tulsa, we mentioned, losing on the road in Memphis 1-0. Halftime in New Mexico 2-1 over Monterey Bay FC. Colorado Springs earns a draw. Las Vegas losing at Hartford. And Oakland taking a point away at Rhode Island FC. Later on tonight, Orange County is another one of those teams that's sitting at the bottom. They got 3 very juicy points against the bottom team in the table. That'd be El Paso Locomotive, as we welcome you back here at Dan and Katie and see what happens in the next 45 minutes for San Antonio FC as they can try to move their way up the ladder in the table. Right now they got 1 point under their belt. They'd love to take 2 more here in 3 overall. San Antonio, North Carolina, 0-0 or halftime continuing after this.
Three nuns were driving through Austin and they got a flat tire. They stop in front of a frost bank. Next thing you know, a frost banker walks out and changes their tire? Hold on. This can't be real.
It's a real story.
And the nuns?
Yeah, they weren't even Frost customers.
Dude! You think I can be a nun?
Not a chance, sister.
What would you do if you won a big jackpot? Buy a new car. Take a vacation. Pay off your house. Turn your dreams into reality at Texas' premier entertainment destination. Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel in Eagle Pass, Texas.
Dear Texas.
Halftime at Toyota Field, San Antonio FC and North Carolina FC deadlocked 0-0 here on a Saturday night on Bally Sports. As we say hello once again from the booth, Dan and Katie with you here, and let's give a shout out to the women, Katie. The USL Super League getting underway opening week tonight. Sellouts expected in places like Tampa Bay, Carolina, and Spokane. And it is a fun opening Saturday here as the women get going.
Right, it's getting to that point where everybody loves women's sports. The women's game is growing time after time, and this is such a it's just giving more opportunities to women and more opportunities for the game to grow.
And the NWSL, the All-Stars are going to be here at Toyota Field at the end of October in the Femenil Cup against the Liga MX All-Star Women on October 25th.
Right, it's going to be a good one. You're not going to want to miss it. And it's such a great opportunity for women as well, just especially young girls, to be able to see these big-time star-studded talent. Some of these ladies from even the U.S. Women's National Team out here playing. And it just shows these young girls out here in San Antonio that it's something you can do. That's actually a possibility. If you don't see it, it's a lot harder to get there and do it. And it's different when you're able to shake someone's hand and you see them in the flesh, right? So I'm excited here for the women, the soccer players, the ladies of San Antonio.
And congrats to the ladies of the Stars and Stripes as they took home gold in Paris, defeating Brazil. Part of that 40-goal haul for Team USA at the recent Olympics. We got second half action coming up on the other side when we return here on Bally Sports.
When you shop or donate at Goodwill, you help create good jobs in our community. Visit goodwillsa.org/good job. Good job, everyone.
Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Deep dishes for tourists.
Tavern-style pizza is our thing. You just had to tell America about our thin, crispy crust.
Try any of our large Chicago Tavern-style recipes for just $12 each. Sorry, Chicago. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Hi, sports fans. I'm Jeff Davis. Going head-to-head with insurance companies is no easy game. It requires determination, gamesmanship, and grit. That's why you need Davis Law Firm on your side. With over 25 years' experience, our team of around 150 in 7 Texas cities has a winning track record of verdicts and settlements, many in the millions of dollars. And just like your favorite team, we play to win. If you're hurt in a car, truck, or commercial vehicle accident, call us at 444-4444. So if you want more, call the fours.
It's Toyota's national sales event. Swipe into end of summer fun with an exciting new Toyota. Whether you're paddleboarding in a RAV4, mountain biking in a Tacoma, or tubing with your best friends in a Camry, you'll find plenty to post about all summer long.
Right now, qualified lessees can lease a new 2024 Tacoma SR5 for $299 a month for 36 months. Offer ends September 3rd.
Come in today. Ooh, like
Toyota, let's go places.
San Antonio FC Soccer on Bally Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Got to buy at Toyota.com or visit your local Toyota dealer today. The full moon is out here on a Saturday in San Antonio. 0-0 SAFC and North Carolina FC meeting for the first time in history here tonight. A bit of a chess match developing between the two sides here as we get a substitute for San Antonio FC to begin things in the second half, and it is the newest member of SAFC, Jesus Briguido, who is on loan from Chivas Guadalajara of Liga MX. 9 appearances with Chivas to the first team for Briguido, the 22-year-old, 1 goal and 8 goals playing in the second division in Mexico, over 64 total appearances. There is the youngster, Jesus Briguido, making his SAFC debut on in place of Mashop Chol here at the half.
Here he's a pretty shifty guy, loves to take players one-on-one, knows how to work some magic, and I think that's something that Trovaboni showed us in that the first half, was how North Carolina kind of froze in that moment. So makes total sense to put in a guy like Briguido to try and take on some guys one-on-one.
It's a foul here on Kendall Burks against Conway. And that'll be a pretty direct free kick as a result here for North Carolina FC. Had the only 4 corners of the first half, but didn't have anything as direct as this in terms of set pieces. I wonder if they saw the game against Tulsa and Edwin Lasso's magic from a very similar spot. He was a little bit deeper.
Lasso with the golazo. That was something else.
One of the best in the year in USL Championship. This does not break through the wall as it takes a deflection. Luis Perez and ends up in the welcoming arms of Pablo Cisniega.
Always nice when the wall works. You don't jump out of the way of the ball. That happens all the time.
Nice turn here from Brigito, getting free, cutting back into the middle of the park. Trying to work there with Lucho Salignac, and you forgive them if they're perhaps not on the same page. There's only 1 or 2 trainings that they've had together so far.
Right, and there's that magic that people have been talking about there with Brigito. I mean, just the first touch on the ball, it's a nice carry. He loses his defender. He already creates problems.
So you can see some of the creativity from the youngster here. Ezra Armstrong. Take him off here now as North Carolina FC will switch.
Not a bad idea to dummy there, but that's kind of what happens when you haven't played with someone enough time to understand just how tricky that player can be.
Malo. Off to Paco Craig and Armstrong. Brigito coming over for support. Ezra Armstrong. Taken easily along the near side post there by Pablo Cisniega. It's been tough to break down that SAFC back 3 here and the back 5 for that matter in their defensive posture here tonight. They've played 3 straight halves of scoreless soccer. The back heel of Brigito to Jorge Hernandez. His possession. And a late foul behind the play, and that's a pretty tough welcome here
right.
to USL Championship.
You can tell he just took a little bit of a long touch and was trying to get on the end of it and make something happen. But already I'm seeing a lot of spiciness here added to the attack from Jesus Brigito. Just a lot of creative combinations early on. Might be that key piece that San Antonio has needed.
So Hernandez into the books. 6th caution of the season comes in the 50th minute. 1 player for either side sitting on a yellow. Service inner inside of the box. Alex Anderson trying to post up, trying to get free. They wave off any penalty. And Anderson has drove a body. It's going to be shown a yellow, I think, for the theatrics, perhaps.
Maybe so. It was a hand to the face, that's for sure. You look back at it, of course, things are getting really physical here. He's not happy that he wasn't able to muscle his way through this one. So here is where problems start, and it's that hand flail right to the face. I think San Antonio is not happy that that one was a yellow. Definitely wanted a red there.
So Anderson into the books, along with Jorge Hernandez here early in the second half. So Hernandez, Anderson, Paco Craig all sitting on yellows here early in the second half. Armstrong will settle. Perez fouled from behind by his former teammate, Nelson Flores Blanco.
Something San Antonio might want to be aware of is sending that high up the field on the right side. If you've got a guy like Brigito up there, he's not one who's going to win those aerial contests. He wants that ball to his feet so he can go 1v1 there. I think that's just something that's, of course, hard to change when you just add a new person to the lineup.
Armstrong. Dummy that time from Anderson, rolls through. Collected by Bonnie. Brigito. Flores Blanco. They leave Brigito open here on the right side. Takes a touch and
it's good movement up top, and you could see that he hit that with the outside of his foot, so he was trying to bend it around the wall so that it would fall at the feet of Juan Agudelo. Might look like a bit of a shank there, but I could see what he was trying to do by bending the ball.
It's a giveaway by Colin Martin. Here's Jorge Hernandez. He's got a chance. Shakes off Conway. Just doesn't get enough pace on that shot there.
Things heating up for San Antonio, but I think when you look at all of the shot opportunities that they've had this season, I think they could benefit from trying to take that the first time. Of course, not an easy thing to do, but as professionals, sometimes you've just got to work with what you've got under pressure. It's those one too many touches just close things down too quickly.
You saw Jake McGuire get into that back three there to get a touch going. Perez directing.
Starting to get frustrated because there aren't any passing lanes.
Washington. Conway. Maldonado. Evan Conway. Nifty ball. Colin Martin off his back heel. Looking for something. Malo out wide. That back post. Handed back across the face. A goal by Armstrong. Bonnie will let it ride out, but it's off of Bonnie. And it'll be a corner at North Carolina FC, their 5th corner of the evening.
You can see just how much trouble Conway is, and you can see how much energy has been put into just kind of trying to keep him quiet. He's really obviously that key piece there for North Carolina. Hasn't been able to do much because they really have just shut down the middle of the field.
Perez begins the night tied for 11th in USL Championship in chances, as we've got Ezra Armstrong behind the SAFC goal, a little shaken up here. Going to get some attention. And a chance for everyone to get a drink here. But going back to Luis Perez, 37 chances created coming into play tonight. Now, Jorge Hernandez is second in that department, 59 of them. You see Ezra Armstrong following this across the face of goal, and it's that last collision into the barrier that separates the field from the stands. It's like
he flipped all the way over into the stands.
You see where he may have jammed his hip. He's giving the thumbs up that he's okay. And so back we go to Perez over the ball at the far side stick. Left-footed in-swinger in this position, Luis Perez. The ball comes up top. Sistianga's off his line. San Antonio FC saves a goal.
Trova Boni, one heck of a night tonight. Not only is he taking it at North Carolina, but he's protecting his house. I mean, just great quick thinking as a defender to just get back and cover your keeper. A lot of guys don't think to do that, especially in the heat of the moment.
Martin. Paco Craig. And starting to get into it a little bit here at Toyota Field. Perez. Malo. Washington, and now Craig again. Armstrong led back on the field. Pass Jesus Briguito. Line breaks down a little bit. Olex Anderson. Hang it off the back of Carter Manley. Bodies go to the ground. We play on, says the center referee. Colin Martin. Mikey Maldonado. Malo, he's got Schaff Brewer off to his right. Will feed Brewer the ball at his feet. Brewer, nice touch. Sends one to the back post in the direction of Anderson. Anderson settles, brings it down. Going to go back out top. Well read there by Jorge Hernandez. Hernandez gives the ball up. Maldonado up top. Colin Martin with a go. It's over goal.
Just having another look here at this corner, and it's Trovaboni right there just to deny that goal. And it was well hit too. Beautiful header. All the power in the direction there from Anderson Jr. Oh no, excuse me. Malo.
Yeah, looking for his second goal in the championship. Coming up from his center back spot. Bonnie will go back and chase this one down. Nearly an hour into the books. Still looking for the game's first goal. There's a good little run here this time from Juan Agudelo, coming back for the ball. Malo defending. Agudelo, the step. Malo will push that off, and San Antonio will finally get their first corner of the night nearly an hour into the match.
That's the tough part about running a mid to low block for the entire game. At times you kind of give up those really key set pieces. We've only seen one set piece and now the first corner, and that's really how San Antonio is most likely going to score in this one.
Hernandez bends away from goal, flicked along, and Maguire. They were calling for a handball, was Alan Marcina in the San Antonio FC bench. The referee did not blow the whistle. That ball was tailing away from goal and kind of caught a little of the North Carolina back line off guard there.
Yeah, that one looked like a really good chance and opportunity for San Antonio. They're going to have to find a way to try to create more set piece opportunities there up top, or just work those corners. Because, of course, they're just really not giving them much in run of play.
Maldonado trying to search out Shaft Brewer. Brewer will run this one down. Tries to flick it back into the box. Couldn't get Conway opening up. Now San Antonio, Agudelo's offside. The flag already up.
You can see the frustration. So many opportunities to try to get in behind. Being called offside so many times. And there's nothing like going on a hard, dead hard sprint and then the flag goes up. So we can all kind of relate to that moment, but might be some work to do there in training of just holding that run a smidge longer.
Armstrong makes a shot at goal. Oh, Olex Anderson was there, and literally all he had to do was get a foot on it, and it might have very well been in the back of the net. Cisniega is down. Oh, what a chance for North Carolina FC. Meanwhile,
a cleat right to the inner thigh. You know that hurts, especially going at that speed.
And Olex Anderson already sitting on a yellow card.
Right, already sitting at a yellow, but did a great job to break away. If Cisniega had not come out with that kind of speed and fearlessness, very much would have been a goal. Olex Anderson Jr., quite the physical guy, has created quite a few tussles out there. Makes you wonder how the ref might handle this.
And so again, Jesse Lawrence, trainer's been busy tonight. Already Carter Manley, injury, and now going to check on Pablo Cisniega. Yet dangerous in two situations. Dangerous that Olex Anderson had a bit at that, but also dangerous that he missed. Be very well for that. Could have gotten a second yellow too.
Yeah. I think sometimes when you're in the middle of it, all you see is ball and you don't think of anything else. You don't worry about the foul, especially as an attacker.
This is a great ball from Ezra Armstrong, and there was Olex Anderson, exactly the guy you wanted. 30 goals in his North Carolina FC career. Ball had a little bit of English on it. Anderson couldn't get a final touch. Cisniega is up and will continue.
This North Carolina attack just continues to impress. You understand why they're making waves, and really interesting to know how low they are in the standings, considering really how impressive they are up top, the speed and the athleticism that they have.
They have 8 multi-goal games on the season. They've scored 4 goals 3 times this year. Averaged more than a goal and a half per game over their past 8 matches. Tonight they've been held off the score sheet by the SAFC back line. And while this is the first ever meeting between San Antonio FC and North Carolina FC, the old North Carolina FC, when they were known as the Carolina Railhawks, had a long history with the San Antonio Scorpions, going back to their days in the NASL. Those two sides met 13 times, the Scorpions prevailing in 7 of those matches. Agudelo again making the run. That's a great ball from Pablo Cisniega.
Incredible ball, and definitely more patient there from Agudelo, but it's moments like these that really frustrates San Antonio and puts a pin in their momentum. They get up, they get into some great positions, and it's the final 1 or 2 touches that just doesn't set them up for success.
San Antonio FC break through here tonight. Vital 3 points on the line for a club that sits 6 points below the playoff line. Armstrong, Perez, Maldonado. Switch, Malo. And Shaft Brewer.
Got 2 backside.
Went behind Evan Conway. Brigito concedes back to North Carolina. The turn here from Anderson. We keep it alive? No. And back to Cisniega as he goes hard into those boards there.
Just shy of the ball, girl. That ought to wake you up. You know, that's the interesting thing about Olex Anderson Jr. is that hustle. I don't think a lot of times you really see it in the center strikers. A lot of times they camp out. They're looking for a quick 1-2, but he really gives everything all the way through that final line.
Shaft Brewer keeps it moving. San Antonio will take it back. SAFC just 1 goal in their last 5 matches, including tonight. That was against Tulsa 2 Saturdays ago here at home.
For a minute there, they had Luke Hawkinson on a much quicker switch. But you said it earlier, Dan, they just don't get a ton of time with the ball. It's hard for them to build that momentum before there's a turnover or a change or a foul.
And it's Brewer again after SAFC concedes. Maldonado. Most of the service tonight for North Carolina has been in the direction of Olex Anderson. Evan Conway, despite 8 goals tonight, has just not really gotten the ball very much.
They've really done a great job of just shutting him down, and he loves to camp out there in the middle, take those runs wide. I mean, the 1-2 touches that he's had in those spots have been 100% effective in the way that he's placed the ball into scoring position. So you see why he's top priority, first order of business. I mean, yeah, you see a lot of athleticism out there, but you can tell that he's really a creative mind.
27 goals for Conway in his USL career, the native of Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. A good couple of years in San Diego with Loyal. And the Western Conference happy to see Evan Conway out of the conference here. That's off of Luke Hawkinson, and Armstrong will take the throw for North Carolina. There's the aforementioned Conway. Don't want to give him any space. Martin, Schaff Brewer, Anderson can't come back for the ball.
Yeah, case in point, I think when anyone sees Conway with the ball, everyone kind of holds their breath because they know it's following suit, and that is the numbers getting up because everyone trusts him when he has the ball.
A yellow to the San Antonio native Mikey Maldonado here in the 69th minute. As the upends Jorge Hernandez.
That'll get you booked every time. And you know, Jorge's such a great playmaker, some good sportsmanship there. But everyone also has Jorge Hernandez's name circled on the sheet. He gets pushed around, bumped around, and definitely a good reason for that. He's a guy who's really the play creator, playmaker of this team.
Those are Mikey Maldonado's parents and his family watching him tonight.
Tell you what, there's nothing like playing in front of your friends and family in your hometown, home crowd. Totally different vibe and feel. So it feels like you have more to prove too, I think.
"20 minutes remaining to see if one of these clubs can break through. Maldonado. Seleniak a little bit behind the play, and it's a ball just sitting there inside the box before it's cleared out. And off the left foot there of Luis Perez, it'll be given back here to Pablo Cisniega. But it's North Carolina, Katie, that's taken a lot more chances here in the second half.
They're the absolute aggressor, no doubt, even to the extent of when you see San Antonio defending, they're in such a defensive mindset that when they finally get a chance to send that ball forward, it's rushed, it's a little bit urgent, maybe panicked at times, and it's just settling down, you know, knowing when you've got that daylight, knowing how to play your game, and knowing that things aren't breaking through because you're being patient and because you're playing a certain system. I think when you're used to playing a really super direct approach and a very different lineup, so to speak, formation, it's a little different when you change things up, and even then there's been some chances. Had they maybe held themselves on side a little bit longer, could have been some good stuff.
Shannon Gomez coming over here for SAFC appears to be the next sub that'll come on for Alan Marcina's group.
At least this time in this situation, there are pros available on the bench to turn to.
Conway. Armstrong. Service is blocked out by Luke Hawkinson.
As we know, many times this season, San Antonio has had to default to some academy players to fill in some spots and rely on their young talent that they've cultivated over the years. But Shannon Gomez, a veteran, a box-to-box guy.
North Carolina FC's got some scorers on the bench themselves, namely Rodrigo da Costa, the veteran, scored his 50th career goal in USL Championship last Saturday night against Colorado Springs Switchbacks here. We'll get the sixth corner of the evening coming up here for North Carolina FC. You figure da Costa's going to make an appearance before the night is said and done here.
See Kendall Burks there on screen, voted as a fan favorite defender of the year.
A little bit of pushing and shoving here before the corner's delivered in. Perez, Berguido.
At least there's a lot of smiles here, right? Forced smiles, I know. You can see here what's going on. Lots of pushing and shoving full-on grab of the jersey. Come on.
A lot of pushing and shoving in that box. That's flicked along. And it stays out. Anderson ends up on the ground. Brigito over the top trying to search out Luis Zelignac, but instead it's Shaft Brewer to pick it off. Brewer drives it back to the top of the box. Olex Anderson. It's chopped down there just outside the area.
Unfortunate, Lucho wasn't able to get onto that. Great read, though, of course, from Craig. But I'm really liking that composed service out of the back, trying to get in and out in transition.
Cisniega. Zelignac stays onside. Flores Blanco. Zelignac holding up the line along with Agudelo. There's Hawkinson sneaking out of the back here on the right. Finally search him out. Quickly closed off. Carter Manley. SAFC finally getting some numbers here into the North Carolina third of the field. Hawkinson. That ball delivered to the back post. There's nobody home for San Antonio.
The intention is good. You can see definitely going for that back post. But again, a smidge rushed. There just wasn't really enough numbers to really be dangerous in that spot. I think playing the formation that they are here, it seems like they're starting to get a little bit tired. Maybe runs they might make before, not able to do because they've been on the defensive for so long.
One final quarter hour to go here at Toyota Field. Will it be San Antonio FC that will break through for a much-needed 3 points, or North Carolina FC preserve with a result on the road for just the 5th time this year?
You can see they're going with that horizontal movement, just trying to find some seams into the back line, but if that's the route they're going to go, they have to do it a little bit quicker.
Nito tried to go off the back heel. Maldonado. McGuire out to Shaft Brewer. That's a bad giveaway from Brewer. Maybe right to Flores Blanco. And now Jorge Hernandez in the middle of the park. Brewer. Hernandez jumps through the pile. Foul from behind by Conway. And a direct free kick for San Antonio FC here. Coming up.
Looking back at that, I'm going to bet there's a two-hand shove in the mix. A little bit of a body check, a little bit of a shove. I'd say ref called it right.
Horse collar tackle. Yeah, one of them out of there in the mix. Luke Hawkinson will come off. Shannon Gomez will come on here for the final quarter hour. Substitutes also being given instructions over on the North Carolina FC bench. This is almost the moment you got to feel SAFC's got to have right here.
You've absolutely got to make it happen. You know, in these set pieces, this is really where Luke Hawkinson is very effective as well. He's the guy who's got a quick trigger, that one-touch look opportunity. But now on the bench, Shannon Gomez here tasked with just keeping this ball on this side of the half.
Shannon Gomez makes his 76th appearance all-time with San Antonio FC in USL play. It's Jorge Hernandez by his lonesome over the ball. Gives it a go. Great save by McGuire. Got over. Read where that one was going. Was able to parry it away. It'll set up San Antonio FC's second corner of the evening.
Just having another look back at that. It's great placement over the wall into a really tough spot. You've actually seen that ball make it past McGuire a couple of times here this season. So great placement there from Jorge Hernandez.
Kendall Burks had a chance there. The clearance made by NCFC. Shannon Gomez first touch. They'll direct that one on, and it's blocked out. And here come the substitutes for North Carolina FC. Luis Perez's night is done, and The 23-year-old Jaden Cervania will come on for him. And also, Colin Martin's night will come to an end. And Raheem Summersall will come on for his 15th appearance. Summersall and Cervania is a little bit more defensive-minded from John Bradford here in these final 13 minutes. Almost seems to be playing for the 0-0 result here at this point, if he can.
Jaden Cervania, actually part of the Puerto Rican national team. 6 caps with them. Had a goal actually against the U.S. at one point.
Agudelo. Briguito. Oh, Jesus Briguito! Welcome to San Antonio! How about that?
What an absolute stunner of a goal. What a look. Just fit right through all the seams. And this feels a lot like the old San Antonio. You bring guys in, they're scoring on their debut. And I mean, you could tell from the first couple of touches from Briguito that he was bringing something really special. Look at this touch. The step over the finish. And Lucho coming in to mix things up. You could tell that McGuire thought that Lucho was going to try to have a go at it, but he let it go. And that's one heck of a rally for San Antonio. Doesn't quite get a touch on it, but it's just enough to keep the keeper from adjusting to save that one. And again, we've seen that same exact goal scored on McGuire a couple of times this season. He really struggles to get into those low corners.
Jesus Briguito, his first appearance, his first goal with San Antonio FC, and his 9th career goal. Couldn't have come at a bigger time, as San Antonio FC finally breaks through.
I think we're about to have a fan favorite.
We're certainly about to have a frenetic 10 minutes of action as North Carolina FC now looks for an equalizer.
Only a few minutes to go, but you know there's going to be a ton of stoppage time added on to this. So still lots of playing time to go.
And DaCosta still on the bench for North Carolina as well, goal scorer. Armstrong. And a giveaway. Briguito, the goal scorer. Salignac stay on side, flag stays down. Gomez the overlapping run. Briguito switch the play. Flores Blanco.
That's the kind of quick switch I was talking about. It's good stuff there. Also loved how Lucho held his run just the perfect amount of time. Really got in behind. Just didn't have a ton of options to take it on.
Briguito concedes. Well done by Bora. Steps up and takes it away there from Olex Anderson. Agudelo. Bora kind of shanks that one, trying to return service.
Unfortunate there. That definitely could have been a great transitionary moment, but you gotta hand it to Burrow, who's played a couple of different positions. He's played that outside back role, now filling in for Kevin Lambert, who's out on injury. You know, Marcina says he even really has a great mind as a center back if he ever wanted to fill in at that spot. Incredible defender, and actually a guy who might be exactly who you want in this game at this time. On the defensive wise, he's done a really good job here in this game.
Free kick San Antonio. Bura. It's Carter Manley. DaCosta about to come on here for Paco Craig. McGuire will hold. Summersall. North Carolina will switch. Craig. Armstrong. Shannon Gomez will direct it out. The throw. And here comes DaCosta.
Quality tackle there from Shannon Gomez. One of the things he does best. All ball. Sets a tone.
So the captain, Paco Craig, off. Gives the armband to the keeper, Jake McGuire. DaCosta is on for the 22nd time this year. 3 goals and 50 in his USL career. This is his 171st appearance in USL Championship. Quickly gets a touch on the ball to get himself going. This one to the back post, flicked along. San Antonio with a clearance. Agudelo. Solignac. Flores Blanco. Solignac turning up that left flank. Turning back to Hernandez. Here comes the North Carolina press trying to create some havoc. We'll get possession back of the ball as Hernandez just plays it back over the touchline.
Again, North Carolina just doing a great job to force play there with San Antonio. They've got that sense of urgency. They have really mastered that high press. As you can see, the struggle that San Antonio's just had going forward.
Cervania. Washington. Summersall now out wide. Turn from DaCosta. Nice find. Ezra Armstrong inside the box. Back across the face of goal. Shaq Brewer is the runner. What a save by Cisniega as he stops Olex Anderson.
And it's not over yet.
It's a 4-on-2 the other way. Hernandez. Agudelo. In space. Agudelo. Jorge Hernandez. Chipping it back across. Solignac offside. The flag is up. Let's go back to the save, though, by Pablo Cisniega on Olex Anderson, though, a dynamite stop.
Cisniega coming in with one of the most quality saves here of the night. I mean, it's a point-blank volley. He's there, he does what he can to deflect, and then it's San Antonio who gets it out and up. But, I mean, look at that. With a quickness, can't even get his hands to it.
It's a second quality save tonight for Pablo Cisniega.
I think you had North Carolina stunned. Just stopping and looking because San Antonio had numbers up in that counter.
It was a 4-on-2. They were unable to get a shot off.
I think, again, it's another situation of releasing that ball a little bit earlier than maybe what feels comfortable or instinctive at times. You had Lucho making the diagonal. I know you want to sometimes carry and get into space, but...
Anderson again. Flag up on him this time. That's the first time North Carolina has gone offside this evening.
Definitely fortunate there for San Antonio. Linesman was able to catch that because, I mean, we're going to say his name about 1 million times tonight. He's dangerous.
And now the former San Antonio FC midfielder, Ja'Cory Hayes, come on in the third and final substitute window here for North Carolina FC. It appears it's Ezra Armstrong who will come off. Still that nagging hip injury that I think he suffered when he got run off into the railing. So Armstrong off, Ja'Cory Hayes is on. It's just his 8th appearance of the season. Meanwhile, Hugo is going to come on here. Fresh legs now for Lucho Solignac, who's off.
Entering the match for North Carolina, number 6, Ja'Cory Hayes, replacing number 42, Ezra Armstrong.
Lucho, really a truly talented individual, still working to up those minutes. Absolute key player there up top for San Antonio. Missed so many games. but despite that, came back and made an absolute impact. So with minutes to shy, they throw Hugo in for a fresh set of legs. Let's see how that changes things.
Hugo on for the 12th time this year. I mentioned Ja'Cory Hayes, just his 8th appearance this season for North Carolina FC after 28 appearances and 22 starts in the midfield last year for San Antonio FC.
But you know, Ja'Cory, when called upon, always did a great job. That team last season with San Antonio FC really did have some championship caliber talent. And even a lot of the guys who were on the bench went on to be starters in other programs. So good to see Ja'Cory Hayes out here getting some minutes.
It's a throw to San Antonio's, who you'd imagine no hurry. They're nursing a 1-goal lead here in these closing minutes of the allotted 90. Jorge Hernandez is able to come back up with the ball, tried to play it back in space. That's sitting free. Boy, Hugo just could not turn to get a shot off.
It's a great turn into space and a little combination, just closed off his angle. San Antonio trying to run down that clock.
First time for Burra.
At least he gave it an effort of that first touch.
DaCosta. Looking to switch. Bonnie's going to let it just ride out. Conway just couldn't track it down. Smart from Bonnie there.
Yeah, no need to rush. Give your guys a breath. Get set. Defend like your life depends on it. And try to get that ball up into the corners.
Well, they haven't had back-to-back clean sheets all season. San Antonio FC was on the verge of doing that. We're going to have 5 more minutes to see this final result through. Hugo. Drive it out of Toyota Field.
We'll say, though, Hugo early on getting some touches and looks at goal wasn't always the case for a good chunk of that game.
Raheem Somersault looking into Costa's direction. Good step up by San Antonio. This ball will die down. Washington will play it back to McGuire. No, McGuire can play out of the back. Cervania trying to open up here on the left side. Somersault. Washington's got to come back and claim it. Cervania. Back to McGuire. Let's see how we'll switch and use McGuire out of the back here to try to direct. Malo. Shaft Brewer. Somersault. Bad ball. Actually, is going to land at the feet of Ja'Cory Hayes. It was intended for DaCosta, and Ja'Cory's able to keep it moving. Cervania. DaCosta. Jaden Cervania. He's trying to give it back to Rodrigo DaCosta. Gave it away instead. Oh, that's beautiful from Brigito. Leads the break upfield. Take it yourself, young fella. Gives it off to Hugo. Hugo looking for a goal. It's blocked out. Jorge Hernandez.
Dan, you said what we were all thinking. Have a go at it. Just take it yourself at that point. He's so good 1v1. I think sometimes it's just getting your sea legs under you, in those moments and staying calm and composed. Try to be a team player. That's okay.
San Antonio doing well to keep possession in this all-important battle of keep away here in stoppage time. And finally, they give up possession. Although they win it back, the flag was up on an offside situation that was negated after North Carolina came down with possession and was moving back forward. And that allows Pablo Cisniega just to drive it out of the field here And the throw to North Carolina. We're halfway through the minimum 5 minutes of stoppage time. Maldonado, Cervania, and Brewer now in stride on that right flank. Shaft Brewer, service in, looking for DaCosta. It's defended out by San Antonio. Cervania, Summersall, the turn. Raheem Summersall looking for Olex Anderson. Summersall with it back. Anderson trying to create some space. Carter Manley's all over him. This is DaCosta. Boy, just could not move from his left to his right in that instance. Brigito able to dribble out of the tackles there. Shannon Gomez. Shannon will just drive it forward.
Agreed. Brigito ultra calm under pressure, even on the defensive side. Sometimes it makes you hold your breath. Don't want to play around with it too much there, too close to the box, but it's that composure that has earned him some success.
Minute or so remaining. Every number behind the ball for San Antonio. Maldonado. The service in for Anderson. Flicks it along and over goal, and that might be the last hope for North Carolina tonight.
Just having a look back at it here. Beautiful service in. He's able to find the head of Anderson. Just can't get down over it to redirect it into a really dangerous spot. San Antonio wise to take their time, of course. Like you said, maybe one more chance to get up in the attack here.
Cervania. 5 minutes is in the books, and this is likely the last possession for North Carolina FC. Shaft Brewer, Shannon Gomez. I almost feel should have let that one go out. It's going to give North Carolina one final chance.
Silver lining is it did result in a throw-in, not a corner.
McGuire all the way up to the center of the park. Maldonado the throw into the box. It lands down for Conway, a chance, and he puts it over goal. And San Antonio FC, a new hero is born in Jesus Brigito. His goal in the 79th minute is the difference tonight. And SAFC snaps a 4-match winless streak and a vital 3 points tonight for the home side.
My goodness, he can be proud. He can pat himself on the back. In only 45 minutes of play, able to put it away. You know that he has earned himself a spot here on this roster with that performance, both on the defensive and the offensive side. And you know, you can feel every fan in this stadium, every player on this field taking a sigh of relief that, hey, we are still in it. We still got this. There's a chance. We just got 3 at home.
6th win of the season for San Antonio FC, and their 5th here at Toyota Field, and they'll inch a little bit closer to the bottom of the playoff line with the massive 3 points tonight. San Antonio FC back at Toyota Field 2 Saturdays from tonight. They're going to take on a team that's got championship aspirations, Charleston Battery, and the Golden Boot leader Nick Marcanic on August 31st. Get your tickets at SAFC.com. Season presented by Toyota. Tonight, San Antonio FC on Spurs night, able to come up with a huge 3 points. The newcomer, Jesus Brigito, gets the lone goal in the 79th minute to pick up the W. San Antonio FC on the road next Saturday in Sacramento as they take on Republic in a key Western Conference clash. Now, for Katie Goodman, our entire crew, I'm Dan Weiss saying so long. 1-0 the final. This has been a presentation at USL Championship and Spurs Sports and Entertainment. So long, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.